My name is Eric Martinez, and on today's episode, we're going to be talking about the prologue and epilogue of Ralph Ellison's Invisible Man. Now, the prologue is really essential to the whole book because the prologue out of the whole book is probably the most important thing because the prologue shows where the narrator is, who is the Invisible Man, and who remains nameless throughout the whole book is, and where he's at right now is in an abandoned basement that has been forgotten by the white people that live there because it's only a white neighborhood. It's only a white apartment that he's in, and the importance of him being in this cave, as you can see, is that he's because to show that he's truly invisible about, and no one else knows where he is or what he's doing. And then there's a color symbolism in the prologue because it shows on Louis Armstrong's lyric where it says, "What did I do to be black and blue?" which is basically saying him asking on why is he being oppressed by white people on his view on racism. Now, at the end of the book, there's an anticlimactic ending because it leaves you, the narrator asks you a question, and it leaves you thinking about how us as an individual become invisible, and how we could help each other out not be invisible, or either invisible people can be either good or bad. And the only thing the epilogue brings us is how he gets to that. The whole book leading to an epilogue shows how he becomes invisible and how he chooses to live his life and how it is. Well, that's all from me, and I'll see you later.
In The Invisible Man by Ralph Ellison, there are two literary devices in the epilogue and prologue. There is anticlimactic and color symbolism. At the end of the epilogue, the narrator leaves the reader with the following question. Who knows but that on the lower frequencies, I speak to you? Signifying the trustworthiness and the level of deception that the narrator experienced to transform from being invisible to visible, and back to willingly choosing invisibility, found on page 581. And in the prologue, Louis Armstrong asks himself, what did I do to be so dark and blue? Or in this case, black and blue, found on page 12. And the color symbolizes the emotions he has about facing racism as a musician. He questions his own intellect and wonders why he is being oppressed for spreading his position on racism.
Boy, good job.
Andy.
Yeah.
Stuff's happening, man.
Stuff is going down.
Man. Whoa! Dude, a battle royale's happening. It's like a battle royale is happening in time right now. So, man, did I ever tell you I once knew a guy called the Invisible Man, and it's like he was always talking about like a battle royale. At first, I thought he was talking about WWE wrestling, but apparently not. So with the battle royale, he always mentioned about like how there's always different people, like races, going at it like a battle royale. Like, I guess WWE, like, you know, they're all fighting one ring. But instead of a ring, it's the world, or not the world, the United States of America that we live in. So, pretty much with this battle royale that he told me about, he just always brought up points about, you know, white society is dominating black culture, but black culture is just working towards equality, and whatever that means to them, or whatever that means to anyone, whatever equality means, if that's even real. So, with the battle royale, he was always just concerned on how the races are always just fighting over colors, over differences, for no reason. Did he tell you about time?
Yeah, I knew about the Invisible Man too. I met him one day when I was walking around, and he always had a watch on him. It was like a pickpocket watch. He's always talking about time and how in time as in our human generation always changes. And for instance, like as time was going on, he kept growing new identities from all those culture shocks he was going into, from like going in the Brotherhood and walking around. You know, it was all changing him, and it's crazy how like in time, how everyone changes, but he stuck to what he was still like, what he felt he was right. You know, he decided to stay invisible, and to this day I haven't seen him. I guess he is invisible.
Dun dun dun.
Guys, we just finished AP Lit in like 5 minutes.
How do I stop this?
Press that.